director of music. My pronouns are he, him. So I'm David Mann. I'm the director of music. My pronouns are he, him. And I'm excited to welcome you here this morning. Our Sanctuary Singers have their first Sunday performing of the year, and they're going to lead you through a song that is printed in your order of service. It's called Weave. So they're going to sing the refrain and teach you how to sing that, and then we'll try singing it together. Here we go. So this is how it goes. Weave, weave, weave us together, weave us together in unity and love. Weave, weave, weave us together, weave us together, together in love. So that's how it goes. You want to try it one time together first? Let's try it. Ready? And go. Weave, weave, weave us together, weave us together in unity and love. Weave, weave, weave us together, weave us together, together in love. Great, and then they'll sing the verses and you'll come back in on that each time. Let's try it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you, choir. That was a great song. I love that image of all being woven together into a tapestry of love. My name is Dan Patterson. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm a member of the Board of Trustees. Whether this is your first time or you've been coming to UUCA for some time now, welcome. We're so pleased you're here with us today. Just like the song, we are a congregation of people of all backgrounds, races, genders, sexual orientations, and disabilities and abilities, both seen and unseen. Today is our in-gathering and water communion service, where we mark the official beginning of a new church year. It's also, after the service, our teen group will be hosting an in-gathering pancake breakfast. Please stick around for some sweet flapjack action. No reservations are needed. There's a suggested donation, but nobody will be turned away. The proceeds will go toward the youth group activities for the year. Food will be served across the sanctuary and fellowship hall with seating in Reeb Center. Thank you.
Dan, thank you so much for that welcome, and choir for the beautiful music that begins our service this morning. I am Reverend Amanda Poppy. My pronouns are she, her, and I am privileged to serve this congregation as senior minister. I serve here at church and on the chancel today with the Reverend Carol Thomas Sissel, our Minister of Social Justice and Community Development. Nice entrance right there. That's pretty good, yeah.
Well timed.
And this morning with our new Director of Music, David Mann, who we are so delighted to have with us. Joined by the choir and by Wes and Cameron on AV Tech, and by our ushers and by our greeters and by our coffee makers and our cup washers and our pancake flapjack flippers. And by all of you, we are creating something in this moment, something that has never occurred before, because these particular people have not been together before this moment. And I am grateful for these particular people in this particular moment. And so I want to invite you, if you are watching online, to say hello in the chat, to say where you're watching from, whether that's a state or your living room, or I don't know, an emotional state. We're in a lot of places. Say hi so you know that you are watching together across the miles. And if you are here in the sanctuary, I invite you to say hello to someone, particularly someone that you did not know when you came in this morning. Have at it. Good morning, friends. Good morning. And by good morning, I mean take your seats. It is such a please take your seats. Take your seats.
Finish those conversations at coffee hour,
Absolutely.
please.
It is such a joy on incoming Sunday, especially as folks may have been away over the summer, to see old friends greeting each other, or new friends becoming friends. It is good to be together.
This morning we have a voiced call to worship with both of us included. Come, my friends, come in. Each day is a gift, a blessing, and an invitation to life and living.
From our very first breath of air, we reach out. Looking for affection and acceptance, we seek guidance from parents, siblings, caregivers, and friends. We learn to take our cues from those around us as we seek our place on this vast, swirling planet and search for home.
We move through our lives a moment, a minute, an hour, a day, a week, a year at a time, and not knowing exactly what lies ahead, we still take a breath and move forward.
What will we see? Where will this pathway take us? When will the road dip and rise? Will we be able to navigate the switchbacks that undoubtedly lie ahead?
As we wake to the dawn and then lie our heads softly down in the evening, let us remember that we can choose to be part of something larger than ourselves. We grow with each blessing and burden we encounter. We are never on this journey alone.
Today and all days, hold fast to this community, to our home place. Seek to nurture and cherish those who walk with you. And please light the lamp for stragglers so we never leave anyone behind. Come, join us as we celebrate in-gathering water communion and our lives' rich connections. In this spirit, let us gather in community and worship together this morning.
Every Sunday morning, we light a candle of compassion, and we send our thoughts, energy, and strength to all of those carrying seen and unseen burdens. Today, as we officially gather for a new church year, I ask you to be gentle with yourselves and with all of those you love. I light this candle and send concern and empathy to those carrying the burdens of food insecurity, of homelessness, living with the brutality of gun violence, and somehow existing in the horrors of war. I ask you as a group, as a community, to lift up these words in your lives: caring, hopeful, loving, and kind, because we need more of all of those things in our world. May the light of hope and love and care and kindness find its way to all who are struggling in the darkness.
Along with our sibling Unitarian Universalist congregations, each week we light a chalice to mark the beginning of our sacred time together. I wonder if there is someone who would be able to help Rev CTC light this chalice. Perhaps someone, oh, perfect.
Oh, please.
You know, she likes to have a buddy.
I really need someone to watch the fire with me.
Actually,
Yes.
that's true. You didn't
That's
see
true.
the 9:15. It wasn't Rev CTC, it was the tool. Don't worry about it. Our chalice lighting requires all of us. Will you look for the words in your order of service and join me as we light our chalice together? We gather together as a community of memory and hope to celebrate life and its infinite possibilities for love. We light this chalice as a symbol of the light within every human heart. May our individual sparks meet and merge, bringing both light and warmth to the world. I invite you now, as we celebrate water communion, a ritual that has gone on for many years in many Unitarian Universalist congregations, to join in singing a hymn that goes back generations and generations, back to old stories. As we sing this hymn, we'll use the language as it was originally told and passed down, even as we hold in our hearts also the new knowledge and celebration of those who are neither sisters nor brothers, but siblings and cousins and nibblings. May we all be together in Sarah's circle. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit and sing hymn number 212 in your gray hymnal, Sarah's circle, and we'll do verses 1, 2, 3.
We are dancing Sarah's circle. We are dancing Sarah's circle. We are dancing Sarah's circle. Sisters, brothers, all. Here we seek and find our history. Here we seek and find our history. Here we seek and find our history. Sisters, brothers, all. We will all do our own naming. We will all do our own naming. We will all do our own naming. Sisters, brothers, all. Sisters, brothers, all.
Well, Rev CTC, I think we have a story to tell today.
I believe we do have a story.
And I do notice that when we have a story, you and I, we often have props for that
Church props.
story. Church
Yes, we do.
props.
Church props.
And sometimes we have headgear.
Always.
Always we have headgear.
Always have headgear.
And sometimes we need helpers.
Really need help.
We really need helpers
do.
for this story.
It's much more fun.
Yes,
when
it
there's-
is.
when there's
It
people
is
to help.
much more fun, and we've moved the chalice back, so we're hoping it'll be also
Fire free.
fire-free. There
Fire
was
free.
no fire at the 9:15, let me assure you. There was just
Sparks.
some excitement. No sparks.
It's no fun.
Everybody was fine. But we are going to need some helpers. We need, let's see, 2 helpers over here
We need what?
to be, oh yes, could you do
we
the
need the-
headgear for these 2 helpers?
We need the sun and the moon.
Oh, couldn't be better. Could you take that one? And could you take this one?
Oh wait, where's our sun?
And would you like to wear headgear as
you like
well?
that? There's our sun.
Probably.
And then we have a moon. Oh, I know. Isn't that fabulous?
It's like a fascinator.
It's like a fascinator.
It's
Does that work?
amazing.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. And then we'll need some other helpers.
helpers.
The other helpers will need to come meet me right over here.
Helpers?
Oh, yes, please. Come just be my model for that. That's so,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you
Well,
so
I meant
much.
more like a leader, but that's great too.
Well done. Water
yes,
for
and then
you.
if you can pick up some water.
Water
You've
for
got it
you.
exactly. You're going to be flowy with your
Flowy
water.
with your
Phenomenal.
water.
Yes, absolutely. Very flowy,
There we
very
go.
water,
Oh,
very
there's one more.
flowy.
Watch out.
So
Give
much
yourself some
flow
water.
and water.
Oh,
Beautiful.
so
Okay. I
watery.
think we're ready. Yes?
I think we may
Okay,
be
so
there.
then we're just going to we're right here. Good. Excellent. We are going to tell you a story that is adapted from a West African tale from the area that is now known as Nigeria. It is the story of why the sun and the moon live in the sky. You see, according to this tale, the sun and the moon and the water were all great friends, and they all used to live on Earth together.
The sun visited the water often, but the water never returned the visits. Now, what kind of friend is that? One day, the sun asked the water, "Why don't you ever come to my house?"
Okay, can we be very flowy because the water's
Flowy,
talking right now?
'cause the
Like
water's
extra
talking.
flow. Yes,
Yes.
thank you so much.
Excellent.
The water replied, "Your house isn't big enough. Besides, if I came with all my people, I would surely drive you out." Then water said, "If you really want me to visit you, as you have often visited me, then you have to build a very large house. But I warn you that it needs to be a very, very large house, as my people are numerous and will take up a lot of space."
A lot.
A lot
Of
of
space.
space.
Deal. The sun promised the water that they would build a very, very large house and return to their spouse, the moon. She greeted them with a broad smile, as the moon always does when the sun returns. The sun told the moon what they had promised the water, and the very next day, the sun and the moon began to build a large house together that could entertain the water and the water's people.
Very soon, they completed the very, very large house and were ready to entertain. They asked the water to please come and visit them. And when the water arrived, one of their people, now hang on, who do we think are the water's people? Water? Oh, the animals. What kind of animals might there be? A turtle? A dolphin? A crab. You have a turtle as well. What's
I see a
this?
shark.
Sharks and seahorses.
Seahorses.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Fishy friends.
One of the people asked if it would be safe for the water to come in.
The sun answered, "Yes, yes. Yes. Tell my friends to come in."
And the water came in, and the water was most certainly not alone. This is the pause in our story for more portions of our service, but we'll be coming back to find out what happened
That's
to
right.
the water
There's part 2
and the
coming
sun
up.
and the moon later.
Yes.
So for now, can you place your water down right on the chancel? You may
guys.
take your headgear with you if you would
And
like.
we have the sun and the moon.
And just bring it, just you
You
can
guys
wear it the
keep
whole time
those
if you
on
want.
till we come back
And
to
then when
the
you come
story.
back, that's perfect. Excellent. Thank you so much. Perfect. I felt much safer about the fire this time. Actually, I think we really did.
We do, yes.
It's a fist bump.
It's-
Fist bump. That's
Good
great.
job. But there was no fire at the first service.
No, it was fine.
It was just conversations about fire.
As someone said, it was good because it's water communion. So, like, what better day
To throw water.
to almost have a
fire.
disaster with
That's
fire?
right.
But let me just pick this up a little. I don't know if like me, when you have people coming over to your house, you pick up a little bit. Anyone else do that? Just kind of get things ready. In fact, maybe if you are like me, the reason to invite people to your house is so that you will pick up your house, right? That is the catalyst for any kind of tidying that might happen. That's true for me, at least. When people are coming over to visit, I scurry around trying to grab all of the pieces and put them in their places, or if not in their places, then into a closet that has a door that shuts completely. Or a storage bench. Love myself a storage bench. Just can jam everything in that. I actually like getting the house ready for people to come over, even the scurrying around and trying to clean it up part. I like hiding the stuff away and getting it to look just nice, and fluffing the pillows and folding the blanket over the part of the sofa that the cat has scratched up so much that you can actually see the inside of the sofa, but if the blanket's over it, probably nobody can tell. Maybe putting flowers in a vase, or making something special to eat. Something so that the guests who come over know that they are really welcome, that I want them to come and be in my house. Just the same way the sun and the moon wanted to build a house large enough for the water and all of its people. Sometimes, though, we find that getting the house ready in the usual way, the cleaning things up and putting them in closets and fluffing the pillows and maybe even the vase of flowers, isn't enough. My family has a family friend, a beloved family friend, who comes to all of the big celebrations, Thanksgiving and Easter, all of those. And over the years, that family friend has had some mobility issues, challenges moving around in space. And so over time, the family has made sure that things were a little bit easier for them. They've made sure that there was a chair that was going to be comfortable for them, easy to get in and out of, with arms that can help with that. And then the next year, folks made sure that someone was at the ready to help the friend get food at the buffet, because it would be difficult for them to get up and down from the chair to the buffet. And then the next year, someone made sure that the chair was near to the door, because walking too far wasn't going to work for this friend anymore. People made all of these little changes, trying to respond to this beloved friend's needs. But each time that a celebration was held, each time a party was held, each time the friend came over, we realized that something else was needed, that we had forgotten some piece that we wanted to set up to make it easier, or our friend's mobility had changed a little bit since the last time they were in the house, and what we thought was going to work didn't work as well anymore. We realized that the stairs at the front door, even though there just were one or two, they had no railing, and without a railing, one or two might as well be 15. They are difficult to maneuver. Or we realized that the bathroom on the first floor of the house was really too small when you needed to use assistance to get around in the space. Or we realized that the corners of the house, the way the hallways are set up, it's an old house, meant that being in one chair the whole time really limited how much of the party the beloved family friend was able to participate in, was able to see, and who they were able to talk with, and how much they felt like they were even at the party. None of the changes that we made, none of the little tweaks were going to make the house really work for this family friend. And so we had a choice. We could keep going with what we had been doing and make those little changes, and the friend could just kind of put up with it, because it wasn't impossible. It wasn't impossible for them to get in and to be in a chair and to be at the party. It just really wasn't great. Or we could decide that if the house didn't work for this family friend at the party, then the house didn't work for the party. Now, that wasn't just our decision. Lots of people were involved. People that came to these celebrations had to go along with it too. And it wasn't just an, oh, great, that's super kind of decision, because the truth is that it did mean that some things changed and some things were lost. Things weren't the way they had been before. But in the end, it was the right decision, because if all of the people who are coming to the party can't actually really be at the party, it is not much of a party. Sometimes we really have to get to a new space to let people in. We have to build a very, very large house the way sun and moon did. Sometimes we have to go to their space, which is what ended up happening with this family friend. We went to the space where they were able to move and be comfortable so that everybody could be at the party. Now, that's true anytime we have spaces, literal spaces or metaphorical spaces, that work for some people and not for all people. If we are in the position of privilege, if we are the ones that the space works for, Our job is to change the space as much as we can to make it work for everyone, and to watch out for the ways that it doesn't work right now. To listen to the stories from people who are telling us it doesn't work. And if we are in the position that doesn't hold privilege, if we are the ones that the space doesn't work for, it helps if we are able, if we feel safe enough to say so. My example in our family was about accessibility and mobility and disability, about all the ways that our spaces, our homes, and our buildings are so frequently designed with one kind of body in mind, right? It's not as though there is only one kind of body in the world, and it's not as though one kind of body is the right kind of body and other kinds of bodies aren't. But so many of our spaces are designed with one kind of body and one kind of movement in mind. But I also think about this a lot as a white person who is frequently moving in institutions like Unitarian Universalism that were originally created by white people with mostly white people in mind. Institutions that I want to be part of changing so that they work better, have more space for, are created for people of all races and ethnicities, and in specific and universal ways, both. Knowing that that may mean that the space ends up looking quite different from what I grew up with, or even what I love now. The sun and the moon knew that they had to make changes if their friend the water was going to visit, that things just could not stay the same if they wanted to welcome the water in. Those kinds of changes show up in other ways in our Unitarian Universalist congregations as well, as we become aware of so many varieties of differences, generational differences, class differences, economic differences. In Unitarian Universalism, we have had for some decades a tradition of welcoming the water in, just like the sun and the moon, at the beginning of the congregational year. Water we have brought from many places. But that tradition has changed since I was a little girl raised in a UU church. Then people said out loud where the water that they brought came from, and parts of that tradition were really lovely. You know, hearing that someone brought water from grandma's backyard or from the hose in their own yard. But parts of that tradition also could make the space feel a little unwelcoming. Like when someone who had to work all summer, because work is what pays the bills, listened to someone with many vials of water from their many vacations over the summer. Now, it's okay to take lots of vacations and it's okay to work all summer, but sometimes feeling the inequality of those experiences over and over again can be an ouch. And so many Unitarian Universalist congregations decided that they wanted to create a space where we felt more equal when we brought our water together. When what mattered was not where the water came from, but that it came together in this space, in this congregation, that everyone's water is welcome and needed. And so that's what I want to invite you to consider today as we engage in our water communion ritual. Now, this church made that switch some years ago before I came or before Rev CTC came, and so we hold that new tradition with all of you, no longer so new. As you bring your water forward, as Rev CTC does now, to join with the water from our 9:15 service, I invite you to consider that everyone's water is welcome and needed. That part of what we are doing and bringing it together is stating an intention to create a space where all the water and its people can fit, just like the sun and the moon did when they built their house. That we are promising as best we can, every one of us, to be a church where all are welcome, promising as best we can to say when there isn't room for us so something may change, promising as best we can to invite in all of ourselves and all of each other. As you bring the water forward this morning, I invite you to hold those promises in your heart, the intention of a church where all are welcome. I will ask you to come forward via the side aisles and bring water that you have brought with you. If you did not bring water with you, there is water waiting for you at the back. It is literal water, but it can be symbolic of whatever you'd like it to be. And so you can pick up the water at the back, come around the sides, pour it into our shared bowl, and then go back to your seats through the center aisle. Rev CTC and I will greet you as you come, blessing the water, each other, and this congregation. Friends, will you take a breath with me as we welcome the water, as we welcome all of ourselves, and as we welcome all of each other, as we welcome at the start of this new congregational year, as we welcome all that lies ahead, all that rests in between us, and as we welcome the Spirit of life and love to be with us this morning.
Fuente d'amor, ven hacia mí, al corazón, cántale tu compasión, sopla volar, sube en la mar, hasta moldear la justicia de la vida. Arraigame, libérame, fuente d'amor, ven a mí, ven a mí. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in my hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
As we move deeper into our service, I have a reading to share with you. Today's reading is called The Miraculous Pitcher, and it was written by Barbara Road. Barbara says, during the hot Nebraska summers of my childhood, I spent hours high in my treehouse devouring the books I found in the small collection my parents had acquired from the estates of relatives. One of my favorites was a wonder book, Nathaniel Hawthorne's retelling of classic myths. My favorite of those stories was The Miraculous Pitcher, the story of Bacchus and Philemon. This elderly, poor, but generous-hearted couple, they invite two gods, disguised as beggars, to come into their cottage, to rest, to eat. The gods keep asking that their bowls be refilled, and the old couple becomes sad and embarrassed because they know the pitcher will be empty. But the gods show them otherwise. No matter how often they pour from the pitcher, it is always full. I suppose that as a child, what I liked was the thought of possessing such a pitcher. Much later, I realized that in some sense, I already did. The story of the miraculous pitcher seems to be telling us that in the realm of the spirit, there is no such thing as a non-renewable resource. Now that's an important concept. Most of us have it backward. For centuries, we have had it backward. We believe that material resources are infinite, but the resources of the spirit need to be hoarded with care. We act as if the supply of oil can go on forever, but that there are limits to the amount of love we can give away. How often I have found myself closing off from people in need because I was afraid of being spiritually drained, only to find myself in the driest of deserts alone. We've arrived at a time in our history when we are beginning to realize that this planet is our only home. We can no longer make a mess of the place where we are and think we can just move on. The species can come to an end. Resources can be used up. All growth is not a sign of health. But spiritually, we are replenished and re-replenished over and over with acts of generosity, with knowing we are not on the journey alone. Most Sundays I stand here and I remind you all of what you already know. Ours is a community that gives. We give from the head, we give from the heart, we give from our wallets. We have a tradition here at the Arlington Church that we share the plate. Every Sunday, 70% of what goes into the offering plate is given to an organization in the community whose values mirror ours. In September, that organization is Echo Arlington. Echo Arlington is growing the environmental stewards of tomorrow. They seek to create sustainable communities by improving our natural environment, encouraging environmentally friendly behaviors, ensuring environmental justice, and addressing the climate crisis. With programs like Energy Masters, the Tree Canopy Equity Program, and a variety of programs in our schools, they offer many ways to engage with individuals, children, and families. More information about Echo Arlington can be found in today's order of service. You can go online and check them out. And we hope you give generously. Now for the money part. You're about to put money in the plate. If you write a check, please put share the plate on the memo line. If you have cash, put all the cash that's in your wallet into the plate. If you're a person who does things electronically, we got that too. You can go online and push that donate button. You can use the QR code that's in your order of service. Please give well, generously, and remember, we give 70% of our offering back to the community. That is how this church shows what it does, and it's how we walk our talk. Will the ushers please collect an offering? Will the ushers please bring the offering forward? A little bit about Share the Plate. Every spring, we ask people to apply for Share the Plate. What has worked out many years in a row is the number of folks who apply or the number of months in the year. We've been quite lucky in that way. What I want you all to know is that even though the number of folks that apply is equal to the number of months in the year, we still have a group of 4 or 5 people that look over those applications, that see if their values do indeed fit with ours before we make decisions about where this money goes. Thank you for your generosity and for helping the Arlington community. Let's bless this money. We bless and receive these gifts, opening our hearts to true generosity. Please join me. Let us be grateful when we give, be it time, talent, or treasure. Let us be grateful for our needs and the experience of vulnerability. Let us be grateful for those who share their gifts to nurture this congregation. Thank you. More story?
Well, Rev CTC, I think we have more story, huh?
I think we have more story.
I think we can finish the story now, actually.
I think we need our helpers again.
We definitely need our helpers
Helpers to
again.
finish it.
Yes. So if the sun and the moon could go right over where Rev CTC will help you
Yes,
with your
please.
props, and if the water could come on over here and all of the water's people to come on and get the flowy water, bring it around forward.
moon,
Perfect,
lovely.
beautiful, amazing.
Everybody
If
got
anybody
water?
who wasn't part of the cast at the first part of the story wants to come and join, you're very welcome.
You're
We
very
can always
welcome.
have more water and water's people as well. Rev CTC can help you out with that.
sure.
She's got headgear. Always,
Oh,
she's
sure.
got headgear actually, of many kinds.
Many kinds.
Many kinds.
Many kinds
That's
of
right.
headgear. There we
Beautiful.
go.
Okay, well, let's see. Where were we?
Is that everybody?
My goodness.
Oh,
So,
you had
Water,
headgear,
come on
you had
over
headgear.
here with me,
Okay.
Water, because we're going to have to travel, and we can't travel if we don't start where we're
You
going
have
to
to start on the
We'll
other
get a
side, don't
clownfish with us. Thanks. Come on over here with me.
We'll go
You
that
come
way.
on over. That's perfect.
Okay, the water's ready.
All right, we're ready?
We're ready. The water's ready.
We left off with the sun and the moon entertaining the water in their newly built, very, very large house. Well, the water began, are we ready? To flow in, followed by fish and a bunch of water animals.
Water animals. Very soon, the water was up to their knees, and the water asked the sun and the moon if it was still safe. And the sun said, yes, of course. So more of them came in, fishy friends.
When the water rose to the top, put them up higher, to the tops of their heads, yes, up higher, Emerson, up higher, up higher, up higher, yes, thank you. The water said to the sun, do you want more of my people to come?
And the sun and the moon both answered, yes, yes. Well, more of the water's people flowed in until the sun and the moon actually had to perch themselves on the roof. Flowing water, flowing. This is good, this is good.
With more and more of the waters rising, the water asked the sun again and received the same answer. So more of the water's people rushed in.
The water and their fishy people soon overflowed the top of the roof, and the sun and the moon were forced to go up into the sky, and there they have remained ever since. The end.
The end. So much.
Thank you,
Beautiful.
friends.
So good. Thank you. Thank you.
Can I have that? Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Oh, thank you.
An
Appreciate
amazing
that.
water. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for helping us. Thank you.
Got it?
I think so. What are we doing now?
It's you.
What?
Take us home.
Do I take you home?
Take us
Is
home.
that what it is?
FCTC, take us home.
Oh, okay. I actually just asked Amanda, what are we doing now? Because there's a lot happening this morning. I love those last lines from the story Rev, Amanda, and I just read for you all. When the water rose to the top of their heads, the water said to the sun, do you want more of my people to come in? And the sun and the moon both answered, yes. I think that's the very heart of this story. When it came time to let more water and their friends in, the sun and the moon both answered yes. There they were, comfortable in their newly built, very large house, when it was filled to the rafters with water, fishy things, and a bunch of sea animals they had openly and willingly invited in. Now, they could have said, enough. This is too much newness, too much wetness, too many fishy new things. They could have said, we don't want change or newness or freshness or anything else. But instead, they made another choice. They chose to let more and more of the water and the fishy friends in. They said yes. They said, we welcome you. Come on in. I love the way the story ends. When they say water, we freely and openly welcome you and your fishy, water-filled, wonderful friends. It makes me think about our faith and how we focus our time and our energy on building community. I love it when our faith inspires us to welcome folks in, to invite them into our homes and our spaces, to demonstrate our respect for them, to show them we value their presence among us, to tell them that we understand the importance of what they bring to our lives. I also know sometimes that can be hard. Sometimes it's challenging for us to share what we have built here at UUCA with others, to invite in new fishy folks into these comfortable waters. But you know, with minimal effort, you can easily do it. I recently read an article titled, How We Can Create a Culture of Inclusion at Church. It simply shared this message. Sometimes it's hard to tell if someone feels like they're on the outside. You know, most people don't say it, at least not so clearly. But if you come with a loving and open heart, if you make the effort to be aware, you can recognize when someone doesn't feel included at a church meeting on a Sunday morning or at any kind of church activity. In that instance, don't hesitate. Reach out. Offer acceptance and love. In my work, I meet a lot of people from the Arlington community. Recently, I met a woman who was brand new to this neighborhood. She had no friends here. She had no family nearby. She felt very isolated and very alone. Somehow, she summoned up her courage. She found a church online and began attending. She was worried, though. She was worried her thick accent would keep people from wanting to talk to her, or that she might be judged for being a single woman on her own and not part of a cisgendered, heteronormative family. But when she came to church, she met others who overlooked her differences and welcomed them into the community of friends. She found herself turning into what I call a church lady. Now, you know what a church lady or a church man or a church non-gendered person might do? They definitely teach RE guys. They bring cookies and leave them on the table for coffee hour. They volunteer to plant flowers and weed the flower beds that are around our building on the outside. They do that because they feel accepted. Here at UUCA, we have room to accept others. We have room to practice radical hospitality. We have space to honor others' beliefs, especially when they differ from ours. This place, this is what we call brave, safe space. We get to come together and meet people during the ups and downs of everyday life. This community is a place that is open and willing to be there every step of the way. Let's make one adjustment. When you see someone new, welcome them. When there's someone without a name tag, instead of cajoling them, go get one for them, bring the Sharpie and put it on their chest. This place is our home. And right here, there is room.
There is room indeed for story and for water and for song. And we are singing, I think, one of Rev CTC's favorite hymns. And in fact, we have this beautiful, I just want to make sure you saw the beautiful art that Ramsey created inspired by this hymn. So I want us to sing with inspiration in our hearts, loud enough that Rev CTC is happy, and you can imagine lighters. It's the Freebird of
the
Unitarian
Freebird.
Universalism.
That's right.
Folks.
It is.
So rise in body or in spirit, 1064 in your teal hymnals. Pretend you're at a concert, folks.
Blue Boat Home.
I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean. Still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now. Never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat. Sun my sail and moon my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on. Read the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. Wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat.
Will you join me in our words to extinguish the chalice? We extinguish this chalice, but not the light and warmth it represents. These we carry with us, bringing our sparks of love
light
to the world.
Benediction, eh?
Benediction.
Bring it home.
This benediction comes to us from Lindsay Bates. With faith in the creative powers of life,
With hope for the future of the world.
with love for all others who share this life with us,
Let us go forward together in peace.
our morning service has ended. Let our service to each other and the world begin.
You're invited to join us on our closing music, which is found in Singing the Journey. It looks like this. It's number 1056, 1056. The words are in Zulu from South Africa, Tula Klizio, and it translates to, Be still my heart, even here I am at home. Tu l'ecclesia la Passecaia. Hekaya na la Passecaia. Passecaia. Hekaya na la Passecaia. One more time. Tu l'ecclesia na la Passecaia. Hekaya na la Passecaia.